Come on in.
Then, Grandad. In you come. I'm joined. My name's Tim Southwell, co-founder of Loaded and also the author of Getting Away With It, the real inside story of Loaded. I'm joined by Bill Burrows, finally.
Sorry about that.
Yes, thank you.
The thing, the aftershave, right? And you go like that, and you kind of rub your wrist on it.
And
you go like, "Can I smell nice?"
I knew a bloke who was so tight, he used to do that.
I thought you'd frozen.
You both frozen.
What? No, no.
I can't hear anything.
No, it's all right. I'm waiting for Tim. He's frozen a bit.
Have I? Am I still frozen? Yeah, it's reconnecting.
I can hear you.
Running out of time, aren't we?
Bill, are you still there?
I'm still here, mate. Yeah, good.
Okay, cool. I don't know what's going on with Tim. It says connecting. I can see him, but it's. Where's South gone?
He's reconnecting.
The only thing I wanted to say was about Robbie giving me the copy. So my copy of Train Spotting is Bobby's copy.
When we pick things up from the issue, I'm going to talk about that so we can bring it in then.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, because literally, we were at the ship on Wardle Street.
Save it then. Save it. Save it for the pod.
He was hosting at the time a programme called 01 for London. And this Scottish Ned walks up to me and goes, "I love your programme, Richard. Oi for London."
You did that Oi one two podcasts ago, you Bert.
That I am. Okay, we'll leave that one out then.
Where were we? Look normal to you because I'm looking at. I'm on the side. I'm on my side. It's ridiculous.
So everyone, like it, subscribe, and follow. Oh, and swing your pants.
Is that you, Ben? Someone calling you?
That was my brother calling me. I do apologise.
Yeah, you missed. Can we do that again?
Just let me just speak to my brother briefly, yeah? Dave, hello?
Can we just do it? Can we do it in post? I've got to go.
Yeah.
I've got to go and get my ears to rinse.
Ben's comment.
Where's he going? Where's he going?
Right, cheers.
No.
Sorry, chaps.
Anyway,
I think it's great that the South has now got. When the South getting five,
well, here's the thing. You have to read the thing.
Oh, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon.
But yeah, go to timsouthwell.co.uk to get the book if you would like it. You can have it signed, or if you'd rather not ruin it, I'll leave it normal. Oh yeah, bye.
Oh, ta-da. You've spent 2 days, you're caked in mud, you're listening to, and that was the time. Do you remember the time when people used to throw bottles of piss at one another at festivals?
Yeah.
Different times. By the way,
It certainly was. Yeah. This could be a time to purge ourselves of the phrase different times. Right now, you've got 10 seconds to get it out of your system. Different times. No, you've got to do it yourself.
I got to do myself.
Okay, let's move on. This is going nowhere. Musicians. See, when I do mine, I know I'm doing 2 women. I'm going to do Rianne from Wet Leg. Yes. And I'm going to do the lead.
You can have 2. We can't have 2.
No, but when I get a chance ever to do one, and I'm going to get the other one was Wolf Alice singer. I can't remember her name.
Rolf Harris.
Rolf Harris.
Rolf Harris. We're back to that, are we? We're back to Jimmy Savile, Rolf Harris. My God, Southwell.
Do it all next.
Oh, for crying out loud. I'll just finish this. But anyway, I accidentally, on purpose, pushed Robbie off. Robbie was dancing on a bar, and we were at this place. It was a Munich thing. I can't remember why we were there, but it must have been to take that tour or something. Anyway, he was dancing, and we were all hanging out and having a laugh. And for some stupid reason, I thought it'd be really funny to push his legs and push him off.
Fucking Tourette's at the time or something.
Oh, I may as well have had, yeah. But it started at the elbow, and then just kept going, just like I was uncontrollable. Anyway, so I pushed him. As soon as I'd done it, I was like, "What the It's just done. And as he's going, everything goes into slow motion. He pirouettes in the air and lands on his feet without crashing into all the glass.
That's because he's a dancer, Tim.
Yeah,
You
we're
can't
very dexterous.
piss around with dancers.
No, you can't. And so he was okay, but his bouncers were not. They saw all this happening, and suddenly they start honing in on me.
I would have been fucking.
They're there just in case some twat like me does something,
And the tour has to end. Yeah.
and the tour's over. Yeah. So anyway, they start to approach me, but because we were mates, he called them off. And thank you very much, Robbie, for doing that. And I'm very sorry about that. I have apologised in the past. We met up at Glastonbury when he was going through his Oasis being cool phase, and I apologised, but he did say, I loved you, but you let me down. And I said, those words echo in I sometimes wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat with Robbie wagging his finger at me. Anyway.
I had a very similar experience with Robbie.
Did you? You didn't push it.
No, because I haven't got Tourette's, yeah. But
Oh, that's debatable.
no, I was sent to interview him for Gay Times, yeah. They put us in a room, very cynically actually, put us in a room, me and Robbie, with about
I thought you were going to say cakes.
Where's this going?
Well, and then eventually the manager came in and he couldn't see either of us, yeah. And that's because somehow or other during the interview we'd managed to knock, and we were crawling around under the desk, yeah. So he could only see.
So basically,
one another's. You could only see our bottoms. And I said later on, I was interviewed by TV about that interview, and they said,
How
what
did
was he
TV
like?
get hold of it?
They said,
tell
you know,
me,
you.
don't tell me, no,
They said, you know, you interviewed him for that famous Gay Times cover, and I said, yes, I did. And they go, what was he like?
What's famous about
And
it?
I
I
said,
don't remember this.
what was famous about it was obviously that I'd said a lot of what happened during the course of our meeting.
And you've let him down.
No, and I said, what was he like? And I said he was like a barnyard animal. He was shocking, right? I said, but I did like him a lot. I omitted to mention that I too was like a barnyard animal.
In what respect was he like a barnyard animal?
Just insatiable.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Barnyard animal.
I thought you were talking about a horse.
Never heard him compared to a barnyard animal.
He was just
Which
like
barnyard animal?
let's bring this back,
obviously
bring this
something with a yeah.
Yeah, got it.
Right, let's move on.
We were confronted by that, and we were in our sort of like early mid-20s at this point. So magazines were really important. Okay, but none of them said anything to us about our lives. So what did we do about it? That is going to be talked about in the next episode.
What did we do? Do you know?
I've no idea.
Clue.
I wrote
Zero.
a book about it. It's in there
We'll
somewhere.
read it.
We'll have a quick look at that.
I don't know how it happened, but at one point I had to give my expenses in, and it loaded. We had a competition, didn't we, to see who could back up the most expenses. And I'd just done a story in LA about the furries, which are these group of people who dress up as animals, pretend to be animals. And there's a separate section of the furries. We'll come on to it in another podcast called Zoo Files. So I had to buy a lot of stuff to illustrate the story. And he called me on my phone. He went, Bill, Dan Lewis. It's either very good or very bad. He said, I've got your expenses here. They've been passed on to me. $25 for a picture of an elk masturbating. He said, what is that? So I told him, he went, excellent.
Good work. Keep it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lovely fella.
People that started Loaded came from across the country, and they're all very working class people. I don't want to bang on about working class this and that, but everybody was very working class. That flew in the face of the existing marketplace,
100%.
which is very much middle class and upper, really. And then suddenly this thing was starting to be developed. And
didn't they hate it?
Well,
Oh my God!
we'll get to the reaction
we will, yeah.
in the next episode. But for now, just kind of get into the point where you had something which you could take to the management at IPC and say, this is what we think.
Can I just say something about the language as well? Because you're talking about like the right stuff. Let's just go back to that for a second. It was it was an Americanized concept,
Yeah.
right? But the interesting thing about Loaded was that the actual language, the strap lines and everything, were genuinely British. They really were British, right? You couldn't. They in much the same way as probably the Jam never kind of worked in America. Probably Loaded would never have worked in America, right? It was so British, right? Now, that's something to absolutely love about the magazine, right? And I think that's part of the reason that it really worked. And the fact that it was taken from actually just pals, you know, oh, that bloke says that's a good expression, right? Let's just fucking use it, right? And that worked immediately. I think that was one of the key things.
I think, Ben,
Was
I
recognising
certainly
that
agree.
British idioms mattered.
Not only that, but we can go into what made it work, you know, forever and ever. But I mean, we're going to have both the designers on. For me, that was absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, we won't talk about the issue one coming out. We can talk about that. But I think behind Ben, you've got Rogue. That was another.
Yeah, Rogue was another
Another
title.
idea.
I loved Rogue,
Yeah,
but
it's
it was
alright.
obviously it's a derivative of something else. Even though it's funny, the joke would only last for so long.
But also
Yeah.
the cover lines aren't funny.
But also,
The cover lines are very pedestrian, whereas Loaded cover lines, even the captions on the photographs, they all were doing that magazine worked its arse off.
Yes.
Every single thing was funny. I went to interview Shane MacGowan for Loaded, and I was drinking at the time, and he was 2.5 hours late, which obviously means that I'm.
That was good for him.
Yeah, which means
that's really good.
He's on time.
I'm not finished yet. So I was absolutely wasted. And then I thought, I'm just going home because this is never going to happen. As I was going, the guy who managed him,
Sean.
yeah, he phoned and he said, I was terribly sorry. I'm terribly sorry this has happened. He said, I've just been round to pick him up, and he was in bed, and the ceiling had fallen in on him.
exactly the
And
same
I know
excuse
he was
as me.
sieving the plaster out of his martini. So it'd be a little bit longer.
Exactly the same
Yeah,
excuse.
so we just
right,
found
that
out
he gave me, right?
It's about
So
4 years
basically,
later.
because the poor bastard. So he was sitting there picking wee bits of plaster out of his martini.
Welsh fun.
Right? He was Welsh. It was Pakistani actually. And anyway, like you're going like, this is the same fucking
It's
excuse.
the same excuse, exactly. It's quite involved as well.
It's very involved. It involved like a whole ceiling collapsing. It
Yeah.
involved Shane sitting there, white as a snowman. So he was.
Yeah.
Right.
Same, yeah.
Exactly. It would have been so much easier for them to just say, bugger this. cancel it."
Yeah, and the one phrase that summed it up was, men don't buy magazines.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was
That's what
going
they
to come
kept
to.
saying. Yeah.
Everybody at the time was saying men don't buy magazines. They bought fashion magazines because they were into fashion. GQ, Esquire, Arena, right? They didn't buy en masse Women's Market, Cosmo, and all that. They were doing close to 1 million copies a
Yeah.
month, but there was no perceived market for men. So our job was to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, but they're looking at it the wrong way round. They won't buy magazines. The magazines were shit. So, and also for people who are watching rather than listening, are we wearing the same clothes again next week?
I will be, yeah.
Exactly the same
I
clothes.
don't
So
have. I don't have
look,
the money.
Can I just say this? I have not worn the same clothes.
No, you've just shown off your tattoos, your Nazi
Well,
tattoos.
it's not a Nazi tattoo.
You look a bit Nazi.
I know, but somebody said that. No.
I'm joined, as always, by Loaded Editors at Large, Ben Marshall,
Hello, chaps.
and young Mr. Bill Burrows,
Good day, Your Grace.
who never fails to remind us that he is actually younger than me and Ben by about 3 hours.
15 years.
15 years.
By about 15 years.
We're trying to figure out what Gen Zers are on about. We've either got kids are Gen Zers or our nieces and nephews are Gen Zers, and they seem very different from us. Us baby boomers. I know you're.
Hang on, whoa. This is exactly the point I wanted to raise before. Yes, I am younger than you two because I'm not a boomer.
Yeah, by about
I'm
3
Gen
hours.
X now by years. I'm well in there. I think you both are actually. You're not boomers.
Yeah.
No, I think we're Gen X.
No, we're not. We're boomers.
How old are you?
I'm 1964.
74.
And 65 is when you become a
Oh, don't vote
Okay.
me in with that.
a
lot,
Gen
then.
X. Right,
I'm
you in.
63, so I'm. Yeah,
You know.
it was basically for the, it was a magazine that, I mean, there's a tacit acknowledgement, right, in the way it was used as a pejorative that somehow Loaded was more egalitarian, right, and
Not in a good way for the
but
people
not
who
in a,
use
no,
it.
they meant it in a pejorative way,
Yeah.
but there was at least a tacit acknowledgement that this was for more people than men's magazines.
By the way, Gary
Last
Oldman's
week.
just committed suicide. He's just jumped off the wall. The poster.
Someone
We should
does
also
someone
say
want to put Jerry
that
Oldman back?
we are recording
Wait a
this in a sniper's nest in Brighton, but it is haunted, isn't it?
Yes, apparently so. Yeah.
There was a horrendous murder.
Yeah, and
yeah.
a
Well, I'm not gonna
lady
talk about
called
it.
Lucy walks the premises and
Pulling posters down.
and pulls posters off the walls. So yeah.
Shocking woman.
This is Car Park's curious corner of captivating quotations.
Say that again.
I can't, but I can get him to do it.
Okay.
Oh, here's a good one. Who said, I remember the first moment I clicked that something was really going on here. It was when I came in one day and I said to the PA Gaynor, "Where the fuck is everyone?" And she said, "They're all in the toilet." So I thought, hello, the old Charlie's going on. So I went in and everyone was staring into the toilet bowl where Reese had done a huge shit in the toilet. He was trying to explain how this huge stool he'd done, which is quite in itself, I mean, it should be in a museum, somehow resembled the Virgin Mary. As this was being explained to me, I thought that there's definitely something going on here with this magazine. There's definitely a sense of otherness, because that wouldn't happen at the New Yorker. And that's when I thought, it's good to be part of this.
Talking about putting yourself in harm's way.
Okay, so who said that?
I'm going with John Wilde.
It was John Wilde.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it was the first time he'd come into the office.
It's got his fingers all over it, hasn't it? Not the turd, obviously.
It couldn't anything else, could it?
Yeah. By the way, do you think the Vatican gets this podcast? Because I don't think they're going to like that section very much.
They might like it.
It's reportage.
You'd have to prove that it didn't look like the Virgin Mary, and it's going to be difficult now.
It is.
Okay, so I have to decide which of your pitches is going to prevail.
Mm-hmm.
And you both make very good cases, but I would say that Gary Oldman, and I think because he was on the first cover, and he happens to be still as relevant now as he was
at
then.
you from that desk,
and he keeps staring at me, and he looks like he's going to kick my head.
This is going to be a running theme. This is going to be a running theme. This is because Ben's your favourite.
Yeah, Ben's my favourite. Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Bloody typical.
But don't you remember when you were young and you went into a record shop and you bought a record?
Yeah, fantastic.
And it was
the
like
smell of it.
It had a cover.
Come on,
which was
first single.
specific.
First single.
Okay, first single.
Properly with your own money.
No. My first one was Devilgate Drive by Susie Quattro,
Mm-hmm.
and my first album was Olivia Newton-John because I really fancied her.
Yeah, go on.
Mine was Leader of the Gang by Gary Glitter. Would you like me to tell you about my second single instead?
Yes, please.
Susie Quattro.
Was it?
Yeah.
But do you remember which one?
Devilgate Drive.
Devilgate Drive.
Absolutely
Maybe.
glorious song.
I was in Australia when I bought that.
But my first single was Message in a Bottle.
Police. Sting.
I know.
Let's not discuss him.
Different times.
Well, they were good. No. They were saying he's about to win the US Amateur. I'd never heard of him. And nobody else had. And no magazine had ever covered him before, not even the Golf Mags, as far as I can.
Yeah, and you love golf, obviously.
And I'm a big golf fan. I absolutely love it. I launched a golf magazine after all this. But yes, so it got to the point where basically I was phoning Tiger up and I told him I was doing this skydive, right? And I was saying, well, maybe you want to come and do it with me. Obviously, IMG wouldn't let him.
No,
but he latched onto this. And every time I called him up, because I had to call him up 3 or 4 times over the sort of weeks before going over there. And he'd go, hey, you're still doing your skydive and all that, blah, blah. I hope your chute opens. And he's like messing around with me on this sort of thing. And at one point, I phoned him up and his mum answers the phone and says, oh, Tiger's in the shower. And then she goes, oh, Tim, are you still doing your skydive, right? So it's obviously part of the Woods household conversation. This idiot's going to jump out of a plane. And then she goes, oh, he's in the shower. No, here he is. And he's come down the corridor.
Right. In my mind, he's wearing a towel and he's dripping wet.
Yeah. Well, according to his mum, because he's obviously excited to take a phone call from a journalist because no one's spoke to him before, which is just insane now when you think about it.
There was a piece in the first issue about why Kurt Cobain was such a terrible rock star, he couldn't even kill himself, because before he did kill himself, he tried and he failed, and with all the necessary things we have to say about the dangers of suicide and self-harm and all the rest of it. And so if you look at the first issue, you'll notice there's 2 pages dedicated to what's coming next. And that's because they had to go to the pro. You tell the story.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically we got a phone call from Yeston at the NME, actually, because they were, much more, because they're weekly, Anyway, Kurt Cobain had died, and obviously we were all devastated, but even kind of galling was the fact that we had an article in that for our first issue by Emma Forrest talking about how pop stars can't even commit suicide properly anymore. And he'd obviously, because he had the first attempt, which didn't go, as you said, and then obviously he had. So as you say, we had to. It was at the printers, and back in the day, you can't stop the printer because it's like costs you an absolute fortune.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. And it was our first issue, so it's like this has just gone wrong straight away. There's like, is this voodoo? Some way, we are cursed by this. Obviously, somebody's died, and it's tragic and it's awful. But so we had to get the printers to. Well, send someone to the printers to get them to print one page twice, so it didn't come out because it would have been it would have been pretty insensitive.
I interviewed him shortly before he actually killed himself, and it was a very weird interview because we interviewed him in New York, he was completely out of it. He'd taken so much heroin, he kept sort of like dozing off during the interview. Downstairs was Courtney. And she was as frustrating and as strange and as bright and as annoying as you would expect her to be. The weirdest thing about Kurt was that Kurt was completely immersed in not just music, but music culture. So he knew, he'd probably remembered better a lot of the articles I'd written about other musicians than I did. He was totally immersed in music press culture.
Yes.
He was incredibly likable, but the thing that was most striking about him was just how vulnerable he was, that he just looked. I was watching him as he was sitting opposite me, and he kept sort of dozing off because he'd done this massive load of smack just beforehand. And you really did, in this kind of really weird way, you just wanted to say, look, let's just stop, and I just want to give the guy a hug. But you could see two things occurred to me after he died, actually. One of the things that did occur to me, which actually Courtney Love said, because they were just about to embark on this tough love thing, which was that unless Kurt gave up heroin, they were all going to withdraw love from him, and leave him without love, which unbelievably was actually therapy at the time. I mean, I cannot imagine anything dumber now. It absolutely sounds totally bananas, right? So that is actually what had happened. So the idea of Courtney withdrawing love because someone's taking too much drugs, too many drugs. It's just completely unreal. But anyway, top and bottom, I just thought to myself, this guy could cope with life if he had the painkiller heroin. That it was rendering life less painful, and probably if he'd just been allowed to carry on with his drug, he'd probably be around now, and he'd probably be writing songs with Michael Stipe or something. But no, a few weeks later, after I interviewed him, he died.
Michael Madsen is basically the upshot of it, and I can date this precisely because it was the time when Saddam Hussein was found in a hole. I think he's famously only found in a hole once. And
well, not according to Ben earlier, but anyway, let's not get into that. No, he's
so the outtakes are amazing.
So anyway, so in this hole. So I'm turned up to interview Michael Madsen. He's done the fashion shoot for a magazine, and the thing is, when you're doing a fashion shoot, I've nudged the microphone as well.
Saddam Hussein did a fashion shoot for Loaded.
Saddam Hussein did a fashion shoot with Michael Madsen for Loaded.
I had no idea. It must have been out for that.
He's a very, very good-looking man, Saddam Hussein, or was before he was found in a hole.
Bit of the magnums about him. Anyway, forget that. So I'm interviewing Michael Madsen.
Nobody tells me shit. You can torture me all you want. Torture you? That's a good idea. I like that one. Yeah.
You're doing the fashion shoot. And the way it works is the fashion shoot's done first, and then the interview happens afterwards. So I turn up to do the interview, and there's something wrong. So, fashion assistant in a corner, distressed. The fashion editor's pulling her hair out, and the photographer's sobbing. So I said, "Everything okay?" No, he's rat-arsed. I said, "What do you mean rat-arsed? How rat-arsed? You've been drinking tequila." Tequila? But it's afternoon. Then no. A bottle. Okay, so the bottle's tequila.
It's a lot, isn't it?
It is a lot.
It's quite a lot.
No matter how big you are, and he's a large man.
Yeah.
And he's dressed as a reservoir dog. When he comes round the corner, wanting to be taken to a boozer, in East London, one of your famous London boozers.
I love the fact that he used the term boozer.
Yeah, disconcerted. He can say what he wants, Mr. Blonde.
Of course he can.
Torture me, good idea. I like that.
Yeah.
So okay, we'll take you to a boozer, and that was the plan. So we left the fashion shoot with chaos behind us, and walking down the street in East London at about 5 o'clock, end of work, rush hour time. Was quite an experience. He was, like I say, dressed as Mr. Blonde, and people were clocking him and all the rest of it. We went to this boozer.
Highly recognisable person at that point.
Yeah, of course. If you saw that, you'd probably think, God, he looks just like Michael Madsen. He must be going to a fancy dress party. He really made the effort. I mean, he looks so like him, incredible. And he still had his makeup on from the photo shoot, which is relevant because we sat down at a table in the corner, and I said, "Do you want a drink?" Stupid question. Tequila? He went, yes. The bottle? He went, yes. Got him a bottle of tequila. I had a couple of shots myself. And I was just making small talk, really. And I said, well, that's crazy, wasn't it? Barney and Sad were saying that hole. He said, what? I said, Sad was saying he found him in that hole. Biggest story in the world. And he said, I didn't know about this. I was flying over. He'd missed the news. He'd flown over and been jet lagged. I said, well, you've missed the news that one of your co-stars has died as well. He went, who? Oh, Jesus, what? Who is it? I said, it's Keiko, the whale from Free Willy 2. Which he was in Free Willy 2. And he started crying. But he had a lot of tequila at this point.
Was it true? You weren't just winding him up?
No, you wouldn't do that, would you?
You wouldn't
joke about a dead whale.
That's sick, man.
That
is really sick.
So he paused and he starts
Stop laughing.
And the makeup running down his face from the shoot.
No.
And now people are coming in thinking, God, that guy looks like Michael Madsen.
And what have you done to upset him?
Told him that Keiko's died. He was really moved.
I bet he was.
So
also, he had, to be fair, was completely off his fucking tits.
Surely Keiko had a double, didn't he? Surely it wasn't the same whale.
No, it was a stunt whale, was it? It was an actual whale. There's only one whale. Well, we're losing the point here. So he's crying and he's getting more morose. So we do the interview, blah, blah, blah. Good interview, increasingly incoherent, fine. So next day, I get a phone call from the editor. He goes, how did the interview go? I said, well, why? He said, and how did you leave Michael Madsen? I said, left him in the pub. Why?
With a whale toy.
With a whale toy. He said, what do you mean? He said, I left him in the pub. He said, you didn't put him in a taxi. I went, well, he's a grown man, he can get his own taxi. Why? He said, well, I've just been to do my Christmas shopping and my card's maxed out. Oh, what do you mean your card's maxed out? He said, well, I had to put the hotel room on my personal card because we couldn't get the finance guy at the time. So I put it on there. I said, and when you left him, he checked out of that hotel we'd put him in, checked into the best suite at the Savoy, hired a chauffeur, and spent the whole weekend driving around London at my expense. My card's now maxed.
God bless him.
So you putting that on me? No. Well, you left him. I'm not in charge of him. So it's a good interview anyway. He put the phone down on me. But the codus to that was a year later. He was on the beach, this editor, and he had a phone call from the Savoy, and it was Michael Madsen's wife, who was phoning in absolutely furious because he was still barred. And when he was
barred from the Savoy.
Yeah, and when God only knows what he'd done. But
it's quite hard to get barred from the Savoy.
Yeah, they're quite tolerant, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
well,
proper latitude.
Well, he was pissed, and then so she wanted to know why he was barred, and they said you better talk it with the editor, who explained.
Yes, good God.
Yeah,
that is over your head.
He is a bit.
He was over his head as well.
He lost his head.
Can you give me your first impressions of, Ben, your first impressions of the Loaded Office?
First time I went in, I was kind of astonished because, all right, everyone smoked in offices, everyone drank in offices. That was normal. But I was stunned because essentially the carpet looked like one massive cigarette burn, but somebody had soaked in lager.
Yeah,
exactly what
that was the distressed look is what we were going for.
Yeah, and one of the weirdest things was that there was, I think you must have just had a delivery of them or something, but there was like floor to ceiling, there were just like thousands of packets of heartburn pills going all the way from the floor to the ceiling. Right? I mean, like literally like 20 years worth of heartburn pills. Because obviously we were always on the brandy, so your ticker starts.
Could never drink brandy personally.
Well, you had some in New York.
Well, that was medicinal.
Oh, I see.
Clearly, that was to jumpstart my
So that was
Trousers.
my first memory, and also obviously the vibrancy. But there was a genuine sense that this was
It was messy, wasn't
very, very messy
It's
and
very
very
messy.
anarchic. Can I tell you a story about John Link quickly?
it? Yes.
Right.
John Link was the
John Link was one of the designers.
assistant
right.
creative director.
So what
yeah.
used to, there was a deck. There were partitions between each part of the office. So you'd get the designer's partition. On the other side, you had basically the writers, and on one side, you
It was
had the
open
kind of-
plan.
the production team.
So you could
So you could kind of.
There was a
I think the
stand-up
partitions were
open
about
plan.
6.5 foot tall,
Yeah.
weren't they? Yeah. And a couple of the sub editors started throwing peanuts across this partition. They keep landing on John Link's head.
That's not a good idea.
No, it's a really bad idea because the man, can be quite ferocious when he wants to be.
Unusually ferocious.
Unusually ferocious,
Yeah.
right? So he walks over this is about after 10 minutes of the peanuts landing on his head, yeah. Picks up this great potted palm, yeah. I mean, it's enormous, this bloody thing. It was like a yucca or something, and literally lobs it over the partition. Right?
Did he chuck a yucca?
He chucked the yucca. It went bang, hit all the computers that immediately all fused. Loads of lights went out and everything else, then just sat back down and started getting on with shit.
When I was living in a place in Buckinghamshire where there were no real teams to support when I was like 8,
Mm-hmm.
getting into football. I really liked Leeds United
Even the
because they
Post
played
had
in
enough.
they played in white. They played in white, and they had players like Billy Bremner. They're all sort of household names even then for a kid. I had no one to really support, and I just jumped on them. We were just about to emigrate to Australia, and my dad, bless his cotton socks, this is 1973, took me to Ellen Road
brilliant.
to see them play Crystal Palace at home because we were going to Australia, probably never going to come back, and this is one chance to do it. I should have been a West Brom fan or a Villa fan. That's where I'm from. I'm from Birmingham, but none of my dad wasn't that into it, so I was kind of left to my own devices to find a team. Anyway, I found Leeds. Anyway, he took me up to Ellen Road, and we were like a little bit late, maybe 5 minutes late, and we parked the car and we're walking towards the ground. It was one of those really foggy days, right?
This interesting bit coming up.
This is the interesting
Okay,
bit coming
right.
up. Don't worry,
Just
don't worry. So we walked to the ground, and they said it's full, and I'm literally like crestfallen, like, oh, we've come all this way, and we can't get into the ground. And we turn around to walk away, and it's so foggy, it's ridiculous, right? You can't see more than 10 feet in front of you. Anyway, out of the distance comes this sort of like Jesus figure, right? So
that is more interesting.
this is okay.
Yeah,
bear
you
with
got
me.
it, you're with
Bear
me.
with me. And as he got closer, I'm like, I'm only 8 or 9 or whatever, and I'm like, what's Jesus doing here? You know,
Did he have the full King Lear and everything?
it basically was a hippie that had forgotten their 6s had ended, right?
Fucking
It was like
brilliant.
4 years too late.
I love those guys.
As we were going past him, he said, do you guys need tickets? Because my car's double parked, something like that.
Jesus was a ticket tout.
Jesus
Needs
was a
loaves
scalper
and fish, yeah.
in his previous life. Yeah. Anyway, and my dad was like trying to give him money and everything, and this guy gave us the tickets, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm tugging on my dad's arm, going, please, Blake, we can get in the ground. You know, it's so exciting. And I was like that, and then we started walking towards the ground. I looked round, and he was just gone. So
Sounds a bit like a fever dream, but I'll take it.
I tell you
Did
what,
did you get into the game?
Jesus made me a Leeds fan,
Yeah, so the tickets were real.
100%. Yeah, the tickets were real.
Did
And the
Leeds
Lord's
win
They
They
weren't
that?
were
magic
Leeds.
beans.
Yeah.
So did
Anyway, we
Leeds-
went in
did
and
Leeds beat Palace.
they beat them 4-0.
Kirsty Noem was the Donald Trump appointed head of ICE. These terrible human beings went around kind of expelling sort of perfectly legitimate citizens from the and occasionally killing them, right? Anyway, she's also known as Ice Barbie because of the plastic surgery she's had done. Anyway, top and bottom, her husband has just been caught in a Daily Mail / New York Post scam, not scam, kind of capture thing, yeah, where he basically dresses up as a Barbie doll, complete with massive prosthetic knockers, yeah, right, and sits there looking at a woman, an actual woman, like, hold up, no, let me finish, yeah,
Careful now.
got the massive prosthetic knockers, and works himself into oblivion, yeah, right, and. Obviously, Kirsty Noem, you'd want to send to Mars, yeah? Question. This fella, right, I've actually got some sympathy with him. I don't want to kink shame anyone. I don't want to kink. Mine misaligned nipples.
Not with
Did
your
not enjoy
background.
that at all. But misaligned nipples really did
on
my
the prosthetics.
On the prosthetics, the misaligned nipples.
that really
I mean,
bugged you?
look. No, it did. I
When
mean,
you showed me the
Janine,
picture,
I
I
said
thought-
misaligned nipples to
I
my
thought
wife.
that's the least
She
of his
said to me,
problems.
she said, they don't have to be twins, Ben. They can be sisters. Anyway, top and
Janine.
bottom, right?
Top and bottom, yeah.
Massive knockers on her.
We've got that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, I think Rogues for him.
Okay. What's his name again?
Kirsty Noam's husband. I can't remember
And
his first
he's
name.
like a what is he? A
No, it's called
barrister or
bimbofication. He's the head. He's the head of a huge.
What's he done wrong there?
Well, he's done nothing particularly wrong.
He's done something unusual.
He's done something very unusual. And as I
you.
say, I'm not going to kink shame anyone, right? I'm not going to kink shame people. It's wrong. It's terrible.
Yes.
We live in a different time now. Thank you. Yeah, go. We live in a different time now. But this was only last week.
Yes.
Or
It's the same time.
It's the same time, but it's different time. You used to be able to kink shame
you
people.
can't say
you
that
used to be able
again.
to kink shame.
Stop saying that.
Stop it. Okay, so guys, that's it for this week.
Are we going to send somebody to Mars?
Oh, yes,
Come on,
sorry.
we've got to send someone to Mars. I mean, Elon's up there, all on his own in his glass igloo.
Yeah, okay.
Go on,
so
then I'll jump in.
yes, who are you going to send to Mars? So this article is basically somebody.
Yeah, just explain why we're sending people to
Okay,
Mars.
so we're
right?
saying we have one person we can choose every week who we want to get rid of.
Yeah.
Because
and
if
we
they
don't want to kill them.
no,
It's
they
horrible.
no, it's worse than that. It's it's worse than that because basically they get sent to Mars
They can't
and there's
come
no
back.
way back.
They
You
can't-
can get there, but you can't
unlike
get back.
Ridley Scott, in his movie The Martian,
Yeah.
implies that there is a route home.
Yeah,
I'm
there is
sorry,
no way.
Ridley, but you're f***ing wrong, mate.
Technology is not existing for that.
No.
And
So
so who have you already set up there?
we've already sent up Elon Musk.
Right.
Because he had the wherewithal.
Okay.
Yeah, he had the wherewithal, and he wears t-shirts going on about it.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. We're Occupy Mars.
So what we're doing is we're not just sending people there who deserve it. We're sending people there who also, to add insult to injury, are going to piss off Musk and
Yes.
each other.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
making a cell of the most self-destructive,
Vile,
yeah, it's going to eat
horrible,
itself like a bacteria. that
Irritating.
eats
nasty,
itself.
yeah.
Like Ebola virus of people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Morrissey.
Morrissey.
Fucking fantastic. Absolutely.
Oh, that
brilliant.
is genius.
He'll be
Morrissey
up
and
there-
Elon
he'll be
Musk.
up there like
got a house on fire.
poncing about, right, with his stupid little Britain First badge on. Yeah,
Slapping
right?
himself with a Guardiola.
Yeah, slapping himself with a gladioli, right, and having to eat Elon Musk's feces,
Yes,
recycled,
yeah.
obviously.
Which
yeah.
accord with his vegetarian principles, I'd imagine.
Eventually they
Which
would do
accord
that,
with his
wouldn't they?
vegetarian principles.
Eventually they would do that. They wouldn't just eat their own shit.
No, they have to.
They'd have to
obviously-
spice things up a bit by.
Well, I'm sure they brought. I mean, by the way, when I did that story for Loaded, with the paratroopers, right? They said the food that you get here is absolutely diabolical. It's like eating shit, yeah, right, yeah. They said so. What you do is you bring a little thing of Tabasco with you. So I
you were
will
saying
allow
a thing of
Elon
shit.
Musk, yeah, a little bit of Tabasco to flavour his own turds, yeah.
Or Morrissey's.
Or Morrissey's turds, yeah.
Depending-
What's
depending
that?
what day of week
That
it-
happens to be Morrissey's turds with a little bit of Tabasco on it.
very-
Enjoy, sir.
Very lenient of you.
Yeah.
I don't
You-
know.
you've changed.
I'm Mr.
I'll tell
Fucking
you
Nice
what,
Guy.
it's like the ultimate girl dinner, isn't it? Very little preparation.
It
and
is.
just get
It's
on with it.
just shit on the
Cheap as
plate, bit of Tabasco. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
This guy here on the front cover, Naz, he hadn't had a life until that stage, you know, because the reason he's on the front cover is a story in itself. Because I was going to, we had a section at the back of the book, at the back of the magazine, where we do stuff that's bubbling under, not really worth a big feature, and all the rest of it. And when I love boxing, and I'd been following his career, but he was only the European bantamweight champion, which before him, I don't know, it's like being a third division football team. You know, you're playing professional football, but no. And even if you became the world champion at the bantamweight, you know, it's not. You're not heavyweight. You're not a middleweight. It's not one of the more glamorous.
Yeah.
Well, so I've been following him, and you know, I knew how spectacular he was just as a boxer.
I mean, he was a complete maverick, wasn't he?
Oh, he was.
He used to literally goad his opponents by
but I tried
fainting and doing
selling
all
this.
sorts of stuff.
It wasn't to you, actually. I can't remember who in the office it was. I tried to sell this to him. He said, yeah, but no one's ever heard of him. No one's ever heard of him. So anyway, so I did the interview anyway. And when I got there, I got on really well with him. You could just tell there was something about him. So I said, do you fancy sparring?
Yes. So you challenged him to a fight, basically.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. A professional boxer who's about to become a world
he's
champion.
only little.
He's only little.
Yeah, it's only little. The thing is, Bill, is someone who actually boxes or used to box.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right,
So, Bill, you used to do a bit of boxing.
I did a
didn't
little
you?
bit,
So
yeah.
you kind of thought, It can't be that hard. I remember what I'll have muscle memory.
Yeah. I was in my late 20s then, but yeah, I didn't. So anyway, we did the piece, and it was great. You know, Sam Buckley took the pictures, and he was laughing so hard as I was trying to hit Naz. Naz just kept pulling away.
Yeah.
Couldn't get anywhere near him.
One of Prince Naz's greatest assets was he was
hit him.
Stupidly hard to hit.
Right, okay.
No matter if you were like the best bantamweight or light middleweight, whatever, you couldn't hit him because it was like a snake
there was something of the Chris Eubank about him in the way that he was provoke his opponents.
Well, Chris Eubank stole his entrance, didn't he?
Yeah. And there's a thing about doing what is probably anyone knows anything about boxing is that there's certain things you just definitely shouldn't do. You should never drop your gloves. You should never put your chin out. All the sort of stuff that Naz was doing.
I did all that. But he was taught by Brendan Ingle. Now there's a film. Naz was in a film about Naz. It's called Giant. It was out 3 or 4 months ago.
Brendan Ingle being a famous
Brendan Ingle was the trainer. He's trainer, but he had
was he famous before Naz?
Yeah, because he had Hevil Bomber Graham. He had this style of training boxers to not take a punch.
Yes.
And that's what he taught Naz. But Naz was also, as you'll know if you're boxing, speed is the killer, not just power, it's speed. And his, as I can vouch, his fist speed, his incredible hand speed. You didn't. You saw them coming back.
So
it was too late if he'd actually hit you.
There's a thing that Customato, famously,
he also looks amazing, right?
Customato was, he looked incredibly good looking.
And it was about time that an Asian superstar came through in sport in Britain because there's still, apart from cricket.
Yeah. There were no Asian footballers, were there?
So Customato had been a trainer to Mike Tyson. He was the youngest world heavyweight ever, and just an absolutely astonishing trainer. But the thing that he always used to reiterate to Tyson was speed kills, speed kills, speed kills. And there was no one faster than Naz at the time.
Look at his face there. He looks genuinely worried.
Oh, he looks
terrified.
He looks terrified. This is Bill sparring with Prince Nassim Hamed.
As you can see,
he's looking at his watch like this.
So, Bill, how long after this did he become world champion?
Well, so I did the interview, and he said he put me on the cover. So I phoned the office and said he wants to go on the cover. They said, don't be ridiculous. Fuck, who is he?
Yeah.
And then at the last minute, the cover fell through. I think it might have been you. I can't remember. Somebody phoned me and said, that boxer said, good pictures. We might put him on the cover. I think we've got to. So I phoned him up and said, I think they're going to put you on the cover. He went, not enough.
Not enough.
So what do you mean not enough? He said, I want a limo.
That's all we've got.
But this is the European bantamweight champion. He's living above his mum and dad's shop in Sheffield. The only thing he had of any media noteworthy, he'd been on the Channel 4 computer game show. I can't remember what it was called. He'd got a golden joystick. That was anything he owned, you know. And he said, I want more. I want a limo. And I want this, and I want to be photographed with girls, and I want...
I thought you had to talk him into doing the
girls
thing.
No, God, no.
Really?
No, well, unofficially. Yeah, so he wanted the whole shebang.
Yeah, but Naz is a Muslim, right?
Yeah. So
there's an element of like, you're talking about going into someone else's culture and sort of like placing them into this thing, which is slightly different.
It was his idea, and he needed no selling when we got there. Right. So John Stoddart, who's a brilliant photographer, we employed him to do it because his expertise with that kind of shot, which as you've seen on the cover.
Yeah.
So I phoned the officer and said he wants a limo. I said, he wants a limo? And no one had done this before.
Fair play to him, though.
Yeah, but he's not really out of, is he, at this stage? And so I said, well, you're fucked, aren't you? Because you haven't got a cover. He'll go on the cover, but you need to pay for a limo. Oh, right, we'll send up a limo. So we set up a limo and got the limo down from Sheffield down to London to do the photo shoot. He was sleeping in the back. He's only little, so he's sleeping on the seat. I'd brought Rumble in the Jungle to watch on the video.
He was sleeping on the seat like a
kid.
Like a Labrador.
He looked like a little kid.
Yeah.
And he brought Ryan Rhodes with him, another boxer who'd become a European, become a world champion, Ryan. Who then was just a kid. And so we did that. Did the photo shoot. He loved it. He was absolutely in his element. You could tell this kid was born to be a show off and all that. Yeah. On the way back, Take That were playing in Sheffield.
Oh, I remember you.
And we're in a stretch limo.
Yeah.
Now there aren't that many stretch limos in Sheffield.
No.
So he asked the driver to stop outside this bar that he knew, which was absolutely packed. And he had one door there, and he was killing, he was laughing, we were joking. And then he got the driver to stop, opened the door, got out of the car, got into the Naz thing that you've seen a million times, the strut, no
Yeah.
smile on his face, just walked round the club like that. All the girls with fellas, all the girls were looking at him. He was loving it. The fellas were going, and he walked right from the thing, came around the other side, got back in the car, he was crying, laughing. As soon as he shut the door, and I knew there were two sides to him then.
Okay, boys, I got something for you now. You love this bit.
Go on.
Sell me the cover. So if we're going to do a cover today, basically, who would you put onto the cover? And this is great because I think at the moment it's, I don't know, I think it's neck and neck, isn't it? We've done, but
No, we've done this a million times. I'm ahead. Because here's the exercise, you remember.
Bill's leading.
If you remember, you didn't even give me a go. I have to remind you that I had a go.
I mean,
okay, so the feature that we wanted to chat about was Mila Jovovich. Now, just as a bit of background, that I think that's the best photograph we ever took in Loaded. The Chris Floyd photo shoot he did impromptu when we were around a flat in New York. Now, I don't know how we got invited around there, but we spent most of the day there, and Floyd did this amazing photo shoot with Mila Jovovich, which she pretty much directed herself, and it involved great big
No, you're in her flat. She's invited you round to her flat.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what, how, or why.
you must know some of them.
Must a friend of a friend. So it's me and James, Adam Black, and Floydie. And Floydie says, "Can I take some pictures of you?" Wasn't arranged particularly, and it ends up with this amazing shoot.
No.
No lighting or anything like that. It was just done on
Different times.
And then I got told off by Mila herself for skinning up on her 1950s Playboys. She said, "Not on the Playboys, please."
Quite right.
And she's quite scared.
So please don't edit that, by the way. Just leave the whole thing because like you cannot have not on the Playboys as a little. You know perfectly well what I mean. Not on the.
I wasn't really reading the Playboys. I was just using it as a.
Don't even talk about
thing.
what you were using for. It's quite disgusting.
Anyway,